Okay, so I'll go ahead and get started. So just a quick agenda. We only have about 30 minutes. So not we have a pretty focused webinar today, but we'll go through some class culture tips and tricks to just sort of set the tone of your classroom. Then we'll walk over some cheat prevention tools and some cheat detection tools that are built into CodeHS, and then some additional resources as well. If you need an account, you can sign up for a free teacher account at codehs.com/signup. And if you have an account, you can go ahead and log in if you wanted to follow along with any of the info that will be presented today. And if you are new to CodeHS, basically what we try to do is be a comprehensive platform for teaching computer science in elementary, middle, and high schools. We try to be everything you need in one place. We have web-based computer science curriculum, so you don't need to install anything extra. Chromebooks are just fine. iPads are okay. We offer online and offline professional development, and we have a full software platform with a bunch of teacher tools and resources on the Pro plan. Some of the stuff we'll be taking a look at today is available on the free plan. Some of it will be available on Pro, and I'll be sure to highlight which is which when we're looking at it. Our mission here is to empower all students to meaningfully impact the future. We believe that coding is an essential 21st century skill. Just as reading and writing are foundational skills, we really believe that read, write, code is going to be the next in an increasingly technological world. We think our students need a baseline fundamental understanding of coding and CS. That's why we strive here to teach coding to all students so they can speak the language of the future and also get teachers ready as well. So we'll take a look at just some quick data on why students cheat. I think it's an important thing to get some insight about why cheating might happen in the classroom in the first place. And the reality is most students do cheat and have admitted to cheating. And this is true for high school, it's true for undergrads, it's true for grad school. So cheating is something that happens. And the data proves that it's not just kind of our worst case scenario students. In a survey of 70,000 students, the Institute of Academic Integrity found that 95% of high school students admitted to cheating in some form or another. And so in the uphill battle against cheating prevention, it might help to reframe why students are cheating. Because it's easy to think that students cheat for reasons such as laziness, boredom, or they just don't care about their education. And definitely in some cases that might be true or that might be part of it. But there are other reasons for why students cheat that can help frame the issue of cheating in a different light and can help teachers approach the issue with a different mindset. Sometimes students cheat because there's pressure to succeed in school and they're interested in keeping up or maintaining good grades. And this status is worth more to them than what they think the academic integrity component is worth to them. So they cheat, they make the choice to cheat. They also think assignments might lack value or is busy work. So, or it isn't relevant to their lives in some way. So they feel that cheating on those assignments isn't a big deal. And as far as peer pressure, although students probably know that cheating is wrong, you know, they know that, but they might feel pressured from their friends to cheat. And that peer pressure at that age is such a it's a stronger force than the drive is to be academically honest. So even though they're like, I know this is wrong, but I want to help my friend, because a lot of what happens is that students ask others for their homework, which implicates them, even though, you know, they might have only done it just to fit in. So I think understanding these, it doesn't make it right, but it does help you understand where they're coming from. And then some students, and this is an interesting thing that I learned recently, kind of in the culture of memes and TikToks and sharing things all the time, this kind of increased access to technology makes it really easy to get answers, first of all. And then sharing info like memes and viral videos, it changes students' perspectives on ownership. So they don't even have a clear picture of where something comes from. And so they might not have a strong sense of like someone created this, and if I take this from them, I'm stealing it, or something like that. So they have different perspectives on sharing and using previously created work to make it better. That they it might be just as simple as they need to be taught like what plagiarism is. So it can't always be the assumption that they know. So with that said, one thing that can help a lot, and again, there will be some students who will just cheat and they know it's bad and they shouldn't do it and they should have a consequence. But for reducing this culture of stress for those who do feel a lot of pressure, it can be helpful to consider providing them with a free pass for one assignment for a grading period. It could, for major projects and deadlines, it can help to coordinate with other teachers' deadlines to help manage their student workload. Or you could also accept late work at a discount. And if you have CodeHS Pro, you can configure the gradebook to allow late submissions. And then anything submitted late would have a penalty deducted from the total score. So that's a setting in your gradebook configurations. And one thing we do promote a lot here as well is the honor code, codehs.com/honor_code. This will help set the tone for what the rest of the year it sets the tone around what is acceptable and what is not. And I think creating a class of culture of good citizenship and establishing ground rules can go a long way in preventing cheating. And I think something else too, you can have students, they'll sign this and they can take this pledge together. You can also turn this into an activity. I've done this with classes before too, where with more of a behavior management aspect, but I have done it where we created ground rules for each other. And so it became this discussion of like, how would you want, if you're presenting, how would you want your peers to respect you and things like that. So I think you can use this as a starting point, and you can also develop your own class honor code of what constitutes academic integrity, what the teacher's expectations are, and you can like put it on the board, and they can all help come up with them and help sign it at the beginning of the year, and then you can point to it all year long. That stuff has been really successful in terms of creating this culture where it's really clear what the norms and expectations are. And I think on that note too, as far as computer science goes, I think something that's worth mentioning is that it is hard. I think it can be really challenging for a lot of students first getting into it. And I think part of the culture is that the students know that when they run into a mistake, they can either ask you, or they know where to go for help, or they can ask their peers to help them out, but they won't get so frustrated that their first thought is like, oh, let me look the answer up online, if they know that part of the class is encouraging each other through mistakes and working through problems, and that they know where to go to get help. So all of these things can kind of contribute to just creating the culture where the cheating is less likely to happen in the first place. Not that it will never happen, but just that you can sort of decrease it and help understand why it's happening and things like that. And then as far as growth mindset, you've probably heard of growth mindset before, but your students might not have. And I think this is another one of those things that is something you can continuously encourage throughout your class. So with CS in particular, making mistakes is very normal, part of the coding and learning process. And so, it is good to have a culture of having the students encourage each other, and for the teacher to model how to push themselves forward when they get stuck. I think especially with CS, it tends to be, it's easy to get stuck and it's easy to get frustrated, and bugs are a part of programming, and it can be very frustrating when you're new and you just want it to work. But I think that promoting a growth mindset can go a long way, and just as one of those like everyday kind of things. It's not that you learn about growth mindset once at the beginning, and but it's kind of like bringing this up again and again with your class can really help. That said, cheating does happen. So we do have some tools that can help you detect and prevent it built into CodeHS. So we'll take a look at the code history first. So this is available on free. You and your students can go to more history on any exercise. So this little GIF here is of the code editor, and you can go to more history and then see the snapshots of the code. This is available on the free plan. Students and teachers can navigate through the snapshots using the arrows and then restore any snapshot to view progress at that point in time. This can really help teachers see how students have worked through a particular problem, help them debug if they're stuck, and kind of see their thought process. And if you see that a lot of code has appeared within 1 minute or one snapshot, you can probably guess that they may have copied and pasted it from somewhere. So it can be just a really good way of verifying, yes, they did work through this problem, or what's this, when you see no code and suddenly a page of code without any indents, yeah, then you know, or in like a different programming language, or yeah, something like that. So yeah, the code history is a really good one. And this is a newer feature that our team put out this summer, which is the ability to edit student code, which is also available on free. So you can make changes directly to the student's exercise. And the way I see this being used to help prevent cheating is that this is a really simple way of, like, when they're stuck, they can ask you to come, they can ask you to take a look at it, and you can modify their code for them, just like a little bit, and send it back to them with comments and things like that. And I think this is different. How it used to be used, the teacher could like look at it and run it, but you couldn't save to it. And now if you try to save your work on someone else's, on the student's code, it will overwrite their code. So you can leave them comments, you can kind of write a little skeleton for them, or like find the bug and fix it, just so you give them a little bit of a, you got it, just help them out a little bit. So that's a kind of a preventative measure, I would think. So again, this is going to be on their code editor. So you'll see up here the save button. So if you make changes to their code and you want to save it, you can just save, and it'll it'll pop up and ask you, do you want to save this, push the changes, and then it'll overwrite. Yeah, exactly. So it used to be just the feedback, but it's kind of a slower process. And we found that a lot of teachers would write in and say, I just wanted to, they were so close, and I just wanted to fix one thing so they can keep going, and change one little thing. So I think this has been a pretty big one. And then we also have launched alternate assignments. Currently, this is only available for AP CSA Nitro, but our curriculum team is, like, as we speak, they're trying to roll out this feature for more courses. I think web design is up next, and then you can expect more of these courses to be rolling out over the school year. So for now, if you do teach CSA, you will have the ability to switch exercises. So it's a really similar, it's testing, the concepts are the same, the basic like level of coding they'll do is the same, but some various things about the program will be different, so that if they copy and paste the code, it won't work. So it's modifying some things about it that are, it's not changing the difficulty or anything like that, but it does change enough about it where if they try to paste the code, it won't pass the auto grader, and they'll have to go in and figure out why it's not working. And so that's currently available only on CSA, but we are working on, if you're teaching something else, we are working on rolling those out to more courses in the future. We also have time tracking. So this is a pro feature. The time tracking tool displays how long students have spent on an assignment. It's color coded, the same color code that is across CodeHS. You can view how long they've spent on any assignment. So this can be a good way at a glance to see, and it kind of goes both ways. If you see someone took, most of your students were spending 15-20 minutes on a problem, and you have a student who spent 1 minute and 30 seconds, that's probably because they copied and pasted. And it can also help too if you're seeing students who are spending a lot longer than usual. It can be kind of a just a way to track in there, so that they're not tempted to say like, oh, this is too hard. You can kind of figure out why they're spending so much time on it. But yeah, time tracking is really good. It shows completed assignments, anything that's in progress, that's going to be yellow, and then unopened assignments as well will stay there without any time data. So we've also got this most recent activity tool. And I'll show too that a lot of these tools, if you do have the Pro plan, you're going to find them in your toolbox up here. So this will be found in your data tracking most recent activity. And the earlier ones, any of the progress can be found in this progress bar. It'll take you to the page with the progress. So most of what we'll go over, you can find in the toolbox. You can always use the quick find to say gradebook, things like that. So this most recent activity one, this has been really good. I've seen this used in a way of, so I saw it for a student who had been a previous student. And so the teacher looked in and the teacher suspected that someone had like cheated, copied and pasted off of a project. So she went into a previous year section and found that, everyone else had finished up in, whatever, April 2021, and one student had logged in September 2022 or whatever it is, like a year later. And then it was the same student who she suspected had cheated, and it shows what recent activity they did. So if you suspect that this project was a repeat of a former students from previous year, that's one way I've seen this used. And then just in an everyday way, you can see if there were two students who were working on the same thing at the same time, maybe nothing, maybe they were just helping each other out. But if you had suspected cheating and you kind of can piece these different clues together, it can help you paint a picture of what might have happened, and you can go with them the data and see what they say about it. On the Pro plan, we also have the ability to shuffle quiz questions. So this will configure quiz questions so that they will be ordered randomly for each student. As the teacher, the quiz questions will not be shuffled when you view them, but the ordering will change with each time the quiz is viewed. And this is a feature that can help with preventing cheating on tests. So they can't just look up the quiz and put, A, B, C, or whatever. You can enable this on a per section level, per assignment, or even at the student level on the Pro plan. Along with that, we also have copy and paste prevention on Pro. Copy and paste prevention will stop students from copying and pasting in the editor. And again, this can also be enabled for the entire section. For a student, if they have lost their privileges to copy and paste, you can disable it for one student. And you can also configure it for a specific assignment. And that can be if, for example, either way, like if you want the whole section to not be able to copy and paste, but except for this assignment, you say it's okay, you can do it that way, or the opposite, where it's like you don't want them to be able to copy and paste on their final project or something. So that's an option. That's a feature available on Pro here. And then forking assignments, if you haven't done this, it's also on Pro. Fork basically means copy. It means making a copy of the original CodeHS assignment, and you can customize that for your students. So once you fork any CodeHS assignment, you can edit. So if you forked a quiz, you can edit that quiz. You can change around the answers in the quiz. You can take away questions, add questions, completely customize it. If you're editing an exercise, you can change the starter or the solution code or the description. You can add more requirements. You can modify it so that they're doing the base assignment, but you add an extra extension requirement that you're looking for. So forking can be a really good way to just to prevent cheating, because you can customize the assignment and add some more of your own requirements so that it would, if they found an answer online, it would only be partially correct or something like that. So you can, this is from the assignments page. So on any assignments page, I can show it real quick. From your assignments page, you can click into any lesson and then go to any activity and then click the three dots and then click fork. That's where you would find that feature, and that'll guide you through where you can customize the different parts of the exercise so that it would become your own assignment, and the original one would stay the same, and you can have this alternate one. It could also be a way if you wanted to have two different quizzes or two different projects that you assign to different to kind of prevent it that way, so that kids are working on two separate assignments, that could be something you do too. And then also on Pro, you will have the ability to reset students' code, and you can do that. You code and quiz scores through the gradebook. So you can do that by clicking in. So if you go, I'll show on the gradebook here. Where's my gradebook? If you go to any, you can edit student grades by clicking the edit button. That's one way to do. Oh no, I'm sorry. That was, oh, here it is. Yeah, if you click the arrows, you can go here and reset from here. Where's the button to reset it? Gosh. Roy, do you remember how to reset from the gradebook? I thought there was a way to do it. Oh, you know what? Now I remember. Sorry about that. I have a little bit of a cold.
Just trying to find mute to help you out.
Yeah, okay.
That one too.
Let me repeat that. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my gradebook. And instead of doing it individually, this is the advantage of going through the gradebook. You don't have to go through their individual assignments to reset it. So if you want to click on the top here, click on the header for the assignment, it'll take you for this grade assignment for the section, and you'll see all, excuse me, you'll see all of your students' grades. And you can, check a couple of them and reset it or give them a 0. And so that would be a way, if you did find students or a group of students cheating, you can reset their assignments through the gradebook, multiple students at a time, and you can give them a 0 and then also reset their code so that they would have to redo the assignment. So that is also featured on CodeHS Pro. Are there any questions that I can answer? That's about all I've got for you.
One
But if there,
question, MR, when you're working with the quiz settings, does it shuffle just the questions, or does it shuffle all of the choices as well?
It will be both. It shuffles the question order and also the answer order as well.
Perfect.
Is CodeHS doing anything about the programs on homework help sites? We are fighting the same battle that you are, and so yes. So I will show you actually on this next slide to get in touch with our support team. Our support team handles website takedowns, and so it depends on the website. There's some that are really notoriously hard to get taken down, and others like Quizlet, sometimes Reddit are easier, but our team is really diligent about working with these websites and trying to get copyright notices and academic integrity notices out to them. So I would encourage you to write into support. You can find them here on the left, support, and on the right here, you can write in anytime, send a link to the website or to the Quizlet or whatever that has the answers. And our team, we do have a process for trying to get those taken down. So that is the best way to try to get them taken down. And we try our best. We work with a lot of different websites. So that is probably the best way to do it. Right. Yeah, so our support team is where to go if you had any questions about any of the features you saw today, or if you're interested in really anything. Our support team is really great. They can help you with getting started, make recommendations, debugging code, enrolling students, really anything that you would need help on. If you are interested in CodeHS Pro and getting some of those advanced features brought to your school or district, you can go to codehs.com/learn more, and that will put you in touch with our team to get that conversation started. Then we also have other ways to be connected with other CodeHS teachers. Our Facebook CodeHS educators group is really active. You can ask other teachers how they approach different issues, and they'll give you, what's worked in their classrooms. I think this is our last webinar for now, but I know we are starting to schedule some other Hour of Code webinars coming up, some teacher trainer webinars and workshops coming up. So definitely keep an eye on this page. Let's see, I'll throw these out there. On the free PD site, we post stuff all the time, especially during the summer, but even during this back to school time too, we'll have some more targeted webinars like this one. And then, yeah, follow us on social media. And thanks for coming. I hope that was helpful to work on, addressing cheating and detection and prevention in your classrooms. Thanks for coming. I'll be here for a few minutes if any questions come up, but otherwise, enjoy the rest of your day.